Well, I'm delighted to be joined by Norman Parke. An exceptional performance tonight at Hexagone MMA. And how do you evaluate it?
Um, they don't call me now the decision king for nothing, so I'll take it. I think it was a pretty exciting fight. Uh, just want to keep improving my boxing too. I think it's the part of my game I always want to keep working on, and it took me a wee while to get warmed up because they said, because the way the BT Sport was, that I would be on about UK time 8 o'clock, so here would be 9 o'clock, and we were trying to get the tattoo sponsor on, and one of them messed up in the back, and it was about 20 past 8 French time. And then, so we were just ready to warm up, and they say, "Hey, let's go. We got to go fight." So, I think some of the fights before went real fast, but we weren't following them, and I wasn't really properly warmed up for the fight, to be honest. But first round was a wee bit slow, and I could hear my coach saying, "Right, that's it." But at the end of the first round, I felt like I pushed a wee bit. Got the takedown end of the first round, so the first round could have went either way. I need to watch it back. But from the second round on, I says, right, I'm going to come out pressure him, stay on him, and kept nice boxing, landed some nice combinations, stunned him a couple of times. He threw some spinning back things too, and he caught me a couple of times too, and they actually did land. But big rockhead, just keep going.
It's interesting you say that about the whole warming up thing, because in the cage you could tell you were trying to psych yourself up for this. So how did you feel going into this?
It's kind of like, whenever you're just going into the sparring, we go spar Saturday mornings, that's when we spar, and you usually put the big gloves on, light stretch, and just cha-cha a few rounds just to get warmed up, maybe 2-3 rounds, but then after that, you start to push the pace a wee bit, but that was how I felt in the first round, and I heard my coach saying, right, come on, don't wait, don't just throw the left hand, because when I was throwing the left hand, I was looking over and he was looking to uppercut me, and he did it straight away from the first exchange, so he's been watching what way I threw the punch. My coach says, look, adapt a wee bit through the straight punch. So started to settle in a wee bit more near to the end of the first round, and then the second round came, and my coach says, right, I think we could have won that round. So the second round I just come out pressure, and I felt like I did more damage from second round onwards.
Most certainly, in those rounds you seemed like you were landing your straight shots, and a couple of times you wobbled. Did you feel like you could have got the finish at points during that?
Possibly could, but part of my game too. It was a good opportunity too, because his last 2 fights he's been finished, but the last one against an English guy, I believe, it was a very good fight too. It was back and forth. He dropped the English guy dropped him. It was a good fight, and but it was good to get the rounds in as always. And but I'm happy after the first round. How I got going, but I really wanted to get him to the ground in the second round, but when I shot in, he nullified it and kept the hips back. I never grind it enough. Should have grinded it a wee bit more to take him to the ground, because I think once we got it to the ground, like the first round, I felt strong in the half guard. Half guard's very strong for me, and I know I can do damage with elbows. But he defended it pretty good, and he was very strong in the clinch from here. He felt pretty strong there, so I just had to adapt and say, okay, right, it's not going to happen. Just grind it on out.
You mentioned at the start of the interview you called yourself the decision king, but looking at it from the other side of the coin, do you think fighters fear going in with you because they know for a fact they're in for 15 minutes of an incredibly hard fight?
Well, I've got to accept that now, that's it. And just keep going. That's the style, it's just tough grinder, that's it. I accept it, but maybe someday, the Pringle will pop and that's it, but we'll just keep going. As long as I feel like I'm improving a wee bit, feel a wee bit better with my striking. If I'm getting better there, then I feel like, okay, he's getting better with striking. They try to take me down. I can defend good the takedowns, and if I get on top, I'm very strong on top too. So I feel like I'm complete everywhere. But if it was to be more like a threat of a fighter and I was finishing fights, it would be, some people would be looking to avoid me.
I mean, your resume, it's absolutely incredible. An Ultimate Fighter winner, one of the best fighters to ever come out of the United Kingdom. But now, moving towards Hexagone MMA, you're on the cusp of a world title shot here. Aymard Guih just put on a fantastic performance, finishing Walter Kaza. And is that a fight you're looking for now?
Well, we'll see what happens, possibly. I know that fight was just after my fight, and Gahadze, yeah, he's a good chap. We spoke loads of times before, and I thought if he'd have won, then I'd probably end up fighting him, but now the French did one, so if they want me to fight him, there's a possibility I'll fight him next. So maybe if they want to come to Ireland, take the French guy out of the his homeland, bring him over out of his comfort zone, like the way I do. I go all over the place in a fight. Now I take these guys out and come into my territory and let them feel the pressure a wee bit. That's how I see guys like that should defend their belt, take them out of the comfort zone, and also if they come to Ireland, then they could put some guys from our gym on the card too. So we'll see what happens. I don't know when I'll fight. I think they'll take a few months break and then they'll go fight again in a couple of months' time. They'll do more shows, and that's it. But I think I'm going to fight somewhere else next. For the meantime, I want to stay active this year. 4 or 5 fights if I can, injury free. don't wreck my hands or wreck my wobbly knees or something. I'll be all right. And not like my dodgy coach over there. Like, he came to do my corner man. He's come out with crutches. So not my main coach Rodney, but Gary Logan there. So it's all right. It's all good in the hood. But hey, I want to stay active this year. I do. I want to have a lot of fights. So I think I could fight again next month. I think I could. I don't know where, but I don't want to say on the camera. But I think I can fight next month.
I mean, first things first, massive credit for Gary for powering through and doing it while on crutches, so every credit to him.
We thought we were going to have to, but the first time ever, I thought we were going to have to bring in the wheelchair, I was going to come out with the wheelchair and wheel him up into the cage, in between the rounds and stuff, but I says that wouldn't be nice on him, but it would have been a bit of fun too.
It would have been what a trooper, in all respect in the world to him. But you mentioned that you want Aymard to come over to Ireland. You have experience in fighting in front of some of the most rowdy crowds in the world. You spoke to me in our last interview about fighting in Poland. However, he's used to fighting in front of that French crowd that adores him. How do you feel he'd handle a Belfast crowd? Because they're undeniably one of the best in the world.
Yeah, I remember when the Cage Warriors came to the Belfast last, the one Rhys McKee fought for the world title. I wasn't too sure how the crowd would be, but it was completely packed. One of the best crowds I've ever seen in Belfast. Like, when UFC came there, it was better than UFC. The crowd was far better than UFC. So I don't know. They talked about it for the future. They mentioned it to me that they want to, because they've been to Dubai already. I'm not too sure if they've been to Germany. So I think, if they come there, I'll definitely fight for them if they do a show there. I think Belfast is probably the only venue for them to come to, and the good deal they got with BT Sports would be perfect timing too. And I'm here to fight with anyone. I fight with anyone, no problem. I'm a tough fight for everyone. I think some people try to dodge me too.
Well, Norman, it was a real privilege talking to you. Congratulations on a great performance. But before I let you go, is there anything that you would like to add that I perhaps haven't asked you about?
Yeah, well, I thank my coach Rodney. We've been, once it's said and done, we a lot to talk about. We've been everywhere: Brazil, Las Vegas, Australia. Brazil was a couple of dodgy ones too, flights and stuff. And the people that train me too, people that spar me, obviously they get you ready for fights too. If they get me into the gym, that is, and the people who sponsor me too, my sponsors, I got a lot of Polish sponsors because I fought there for the last 4 to 5 years, and I think that's it. That's the people who I mostly associated with. So, and obviously this promotion here gave me the opportunity to fight on. It's a different promotion, a new area, totally different territory. And it was good to feel a different vibe. I felt this fight was a neutral fight too, because Brazilian opponent and in France. But funny enough, they offered me a Polish opponent the first time. I was meant to fight a Polish guy, and he don't want to accept. But it's all right. I know this guy's fine, and this is how I ended up fighting the Brazilian guy. So now, after the 2 times I fought in Brazil, it's a wee bit of redemption I got after them split decisions in Brazil and a draw. I'm happy to get one over the Brazilians.